Hey everyone, I am here today with Divine Health Revolution. I am here today with Jen Judd. She is a passionate advocate for plant based living. As well, she's a plant based ambassador. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I
Thank
really love that you
you.
are here. Yeah, of course.
I was just telling you before we came on, however, everyone subscribe to this channel. It is awesome and watch all the interviews on there. I want to say, I'm blessed to have heard the other ladies and Lauren, of course, is an amazing wealth of information. So I love your channel and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for saying that. And guys, also subscribe to her channel because she has amazing information over there. And today, well, we came into contact over Facebook, I guess. I posted like this message, hey, I'm looking for people with a testimony. And you were the first one to reply, like super.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you sent me like 3 messages. Like you were so like passionate.
Yes,
And
a little wordy too, as you'll see, right?
what did you say?
Wordy on my message. It probably cut me off in characters or something. The first one. I'm just so passionate to tell people that they can take control of their health and
Yeah,
spirituality and everything.
exactly. So finally, we were able to set a date, and here we are now. We already talked for almost 30 minutes
I
because
know, sorry.
no, don't say sorry at all. Like I love talking as well. So and it's so much fun to get to know each other better and like know your personality. And I haven't asked for your story yet because I don't want to spoil too much in the introduction and stuff.
Surprise, right?
So, but what I've seen from you is that you lost 50 pounds on a raw vegan diet and you were also able to reverse like a lot of allergies and chronic back pain.
Mhm.
And I think a lot more. Would you just like to tell us where it all started for you and how you got onto this road of healing?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. It's kind of a interesting story because it happened by mistake, which I don't know if anything's a mistake, right? God
Mhm.
and the universe probably set this up. However, for it looked like a mistake to me at the time because we were actually trying to look in some info to grow microgreens. And so, in watching YouTube videos, and I think that's why I'm so passionate to come on YouTube and be on this platform specifically and social media because I would have never known any of this information that literally changed my life because it's not like on the evening news next at 11 people are reversing disease, right?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see that. So I'm like, we have to do this good
Yeah.
work to put it out. So I'm looking and I find this documentary. It's not one of the popular ones that I hear about all the time, like Dominion and things that changed people. It was called Raw. Like I think it was just called Raw documentary, and I do remember it because I've shared it on my Facebook page. It's kind of an old video, like maybe from 10 years
Yes,
ago.
I remember the name. I think it was Raw at 42.
You know what? That probably I was 42. I bet I've connected
Oh,
that without a comma. I bet that's what it was. Yep. It was raw 42. Yeah, I think I probably I remember that on my bio. I think I have to go back and edit that because it was like everyone says, did you watch Raw at 42? And I'm like, yes, but Raw at me being 42.
okay, now I get it.
I'm like, no one could on YouTube. And it was just it had the I don't know if you're familiar with the old show from over here called Cheers, like like it was an old sitcom about these guys at a bar, and there was a guy named Woody Harrelson, which he became like a popular actor, but he was on there talking about he became raw and he felt so much better, reversed all his acne and skin conditions. There was people talking about they reversed cancer, diabetes, like type 2 diabetes, like all these things with this raw living food, vegetables and fruits. And I, at that point in life, I was grew up on the standard American diet for 42 years. We ate steak, we ate potatoes, ice cream, all kinds of, normal things that people that I grew up with ate, and that we were, thought were healthy in a sense, just as long as you had a vegetable on your plate, and eat your greens. I did hear that, but it wasn't like don't eat all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So, and that's the information that we had at the time, like, and still most people have if they're talking to a regular doctor, or, you're told that you should eat in moderation and, things like that. Don't eat a lot of sweets. We all know that, but we're never really told, in my opinion, what the truth is on how to be healthy. And so it was just really I was like, you know what? I've tried all these other diets before, keto, and I never could sustain that one because I love carbs, and I was like, no, I can't do that. And, it was like nothing ever filled me up. I tried those ones where you could just like have a little, quarter piece size of, food on your plate, and then that's all you could eat for the day, and those kind of things. And really, like when I was young, I was actually not overweight because I think I did a lot of work. I was an athlete in high school, and played basketball and other things. And it was like I always was able to maintain weight. But in my 30s, I was kind of up and down. Like I tell people, you could see on Facebook posts, I'd go on one of these diets and my face would be smaller, and then you would see me kind of enlarge over time. And I was at 185, like at 5'3.5", 5'4", which, at the time it seemed normal, but I also felt like I was just heavier than I've ever been. I was like dealing with a lot of back pain that started like in my late
Mm.
teens, where like every day I would get up and like literally I'd have to get on like an exercise bike, because it was the kind that would tighten up when I sat still, not like what people have where they can't move around. It was almost like anytime I was still for more than like 20 minutes, these muscles in my back would like constrict, and I'd either have to have someone like pull it, or can you crack my back? And I'd get on the bike, and when I'd move around, it would loosen up, but only for brief periods of time. And then it was just kind of like I dealt with it. It wasn't like I was not working because of it, or, how I'm sure people, experience much, much, bigger health issues, for example, the people you've had on, but it's just little nagging things. And I'd always had allergies. Like my nose was always stuffy. Just like on a normal basis, I'd wake up with a lot of like mucus, and, and kind of, I just always felt like even when it wasn't allergy season, it was there, but it would just get worse during allergy season. Like what is it? In like probably May. I haven't had them in so long now, I forgot, but like May,
Yeah.
I get a bad cold. And in the winter, I started noticing I was getting like a lot of bronchial type issues where I was doing a lot of coughing and sometimes wheezing. And one time I even had trouble getting up the stairs. And I'm like, wow, I'm only like, 38. What is happening here? I'm not supposed to be like feeling like this old lady, right?
Yeah.
That I can't get up the steps. And like, it was like I had to really guess how I was going to feel from day to day, but I
Mm.
was always like just moving along, just this same person I've always been, in this same attitude. I had never, complained really or anything, except that, about my back occasionally. And it really was like I was having to take like Tylenol or ibuprofen. What is that?
Mm.
Claritin for allergy. But I was never really a big doctor person. I didn't like to go to the doctor. I went to the doctor one time for my back, and they gave me some kind of medicine, and I broke out in hives, and I was like, no, I don't want to go that route, So I didn't even know that this diet at the time, I thought it was just going to help me lose weight. And so,
Yeah.
like, I went to the store, I bought, like I said, coming from the standard American diet, I bought all these vegetables. I bought like lettuce and cucumbers, and eventually over time my salad got larger and larger, but initially I probably just had the standards: lettuce, tomato, cucumbers. and,
Yeah.
and then I ended up like it became like kind of a thing. I was like, I'm going to do it for 3 days and see how this goes. And at the time, I didn't know much about like I do now, which I'll get to that about the fruit diet. I was mostly thinking, okay, this is what you should eat, like, lettuce and spinach and all that good stuff. And I put like, eventually I started adding sprouts to the salads, and I was like, every night I would like get this little setup. I'd get all my veggies out, I'd set my phone up, and I'd play like a YouTube video, either the health benefits of,
Yeah.
cucumbers, all
Yeah.
to like Dr. Neil Barnard, or I'd watch like, Fully Raw Christina, and
I love that.
I would just, it was like a whole experience, and I'd like chop the veggies, and it was just like my whole thing. Like, and then I'd, get all excited about a certain vegetable, and I'd be like, I just listened that we're supposed to have sprouts. So I went out and I'd get sprouts, and then broccoli. Oh, broccoli has this in it. I got to go get some of that. And this has this, and this has that. And
Yeah.
like, all of a sudden I have this picture of my salad where literally, and then like olives, and what else was on there? Gosh, lettuce. I even ended up,
Mm.
oh, avocado. That was something I never liked, and when I read the benefits of that, so I was like, this
You're
is
like going on top.
over
Yeah.
my head, right? Like, and I would put it like a veggie tray, and I would take like the lettuce, and I'd put like a little bit of everything inside of it, like the corn and whatever else I had, and I'd roll it up and I'd dip it in my dressing. And I had like two kinds of dressing. I had like a vinaigrette and a raspberry vinaigrette for like certain fruits I liked in that. And it was just, I had so much fun that I just really got into it, and I felt so good. I was like, I'm not going to stop. I feel good. Like, I can do this. And I would just eat that one big salad a day. And like, that's why within like a month, I think it was a month, I came home from work and went to like lay down on the bed and stretch my back like I normally did. And I was like, wait, I don't think I feel it. And I'm like, this can't be right. It was like I had found some kind of miracle, after like
Yeah.
having back pain for years, all of a sudden to just not feel it. And I almost had to keep doing that. When something heals, you're like, oh, maybe this is a fluke, maybe
Yeah.
I
Yeah. You have to try it again.
this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so that eliminated back pain just being completely raw within 30 days. And then that year, I never got sniffles. I never started waking up stuffy or anything. I had no seasonal allergies. I mean, and like, it was a joke. You can ask my mom.
Wow.
She even sent me a picture one time of it was like this toilet paper holder that someone was wearing on their head with it coming down just so they could have like the tissues whenever they needed them. And she's like, you need this for your allergies, and it was like a joke, because I always just had allergies. And all of a sudden they were gone, never came back. This is April will be 5 years, and I've never had them. Within 6 months, I had lost, like, I say 50, but I feel like now saying 185, I got down to like 115. So it's probably closer to 60 pounds. And like,
Yeah.
and then it was like, uh-oh, everyone was saying you're losing too much weight, you're losing too much weight. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, like, I started feeling like I was losing too much weight. I looked in the mirror, like, okay, yeah, I'm looking a little like, frail here. Like, maybe they're right, because I didn't, like, it was just, it's weird seeing yourself when you detox for a second, because you see a different image of yourself than you think you're supposed to look. So like, literally,
Absolutely.
I kept losing weight. Like, I couldn't stop because I wasn't really. Then I realized what I did wrong. I was not really probably eating. I was still eating like how someone would intermittent fast on a standard American diet, and eating like a salad like a person would eat. Like, but it was all greens and lots of vegetables, which is fine. But it led me to eating cooked food again, is what happened. Because, and I always stayed vegan, because at that point I had made this connection that like from being in the vegan groups, I'm like, whoa, like, I never realized. I always say like I love animals, and I'm like, why was I thinking a dog was different than a cow and a cat? And it was just like, I don't think a lot of people have made that connection yet, which is fine. But like, once you do, you can't really unlook or clear that from your mind, and you just never feel right in my opinion, eating animals. And you eventually, like, I found out what happened in dairy with them taking the baby cow and the over milking and how they're in pain, and just how we impregnate them just to make milk for us that we're not supposed to even drink. And I realized milk's for a baby cow, and like it was like my whole world was flipped upside down
Yeah.
in 6 months. Like, what have I been doing? Why have I been eating this way? Why did I think I needed to eat animals? Look at all this stuff that's cleared up in like 6 months. And I just became really passionate and started like the Facebook group, and I started well, later on came the YouTube channel, but I have a vegan knowledge group on Facebook, and I love it. It's kind of like a community. Everyone on there, if you guys are watching, thank you for helping. They just always are encouraging me, and they share their own journey. We've got people that are, becoming vegan, new vegan, experienced vegans. And like my goal was to gain some weight. So I went to cooked food vegan. I realized I could have like, vegan mayo and vegan lunch meat and vegan chicken patties, vegan this, vegan that. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to try this for the group. I'm going to try this for the group. Well, I ended up turning into a junk food vegan because of it. Like, I was like, oh, Beyond Burgers. Look, you can have anything you want. It's just like, and
Because vegan is good.
I mean, and then I found whole food plant-based, and I'm like, yeah, this feels more natural to me, because I went from like this is just seeming like too much processed food. And so while I still like put it in there here and there, I kind of went to like beans, rice. I always had that big salad though. Like that never left me. And I don't know if that's one of the reasons I never really experienced any of the old health conditions, and I kept the weight off even through all the different variations of diet. But
Yeah.
then, like this past year, it started with the Minister of Wellness. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. That was, I think, the first time I had heard about like fruit. And I had randomly heard fruitarian, but I was always like, no, I don't think you're supposed to eat all fruit. And then he was talking about how, we're technically like fruit is the healing food, and we're kind of like designed to eat fruit, not vegetables. We can juice vegetables and things and greens, but he was talking about eating a primarily fruit based diet and healing people. And
Yeah.
then I thought, you know what, fruit probably is why I wasn't maintaining my weight. I didn't have to go from raw food to rice, beans, burgers, vegan burgers and all that good stuff. Or potatoes. I ate a lot of potatoes trying to gain a little bit of weight, and mashed potatoes, right? And which is like, I think wherever people are on their journey, that's why I always on my page allow people to just speak about any kind of vegan food they're on. If they've stopped eating animals, that's where they are in their journey. And I think health has like levels of where you want to be. And like, once I found out that, then I found like, just so many people that I've interviewed now, like Eli Martyr, and I found Don Bennett, who comes on my channel a lot, has so much information. Lauren, who you just talked to, and like there's so many people with different sets of information. And then all of a sudden it clicked, wait, we're frugivore. We're supposed to eat majority fruit. And then it all like started to make sense to me. And then I realized that we're similar to the bonobo, and then I realized how cleansing and detox works. And just like it all came like full circle. I'm like, I'm supposed to be eating fruit. That's why this wasn't, I had to keep reverting back and forth between raw and cooked food. It wasn't, I was jumping too far ahead. I was missing that little, and that's why I was like, I'm happy to always keep an open mind for things you don't know, or to open your mind to people. Because if I had shut down at that point and said, no, that's not true, we're not supposed to eat fruit. And I felt like I did when I found out we weren't supposed to eat meat. It was like I had this rebirth all over again. I'm like, we're fruit eaters. That makes sense. The seeds, that's how they're dispersed. And like it all just like, it was like I had a new awakening as from like original raw vegan to like raw vegan re-raw. I was like, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
re-motivated. I
Raw.
started emailing all these people like, can you come on my show? It's like all I wanted to talk about was the fruit-based diet raw. And then I realized that fruitarian doesn't necessarily mean all you eat is fruit. Some do. But like, I found a happy balance now of I still love, at first I went to all fruit and then I was like, okay, I feel like I'm missing some minerals in there. And I stopped everything, like my B12 and everything. And then I was like, I'm feeling a little like, maybe this is detox. And then I kept going and I was like, you know what? I think I need to find how this works for me because I'm not in a situation where I haven't done this before. So maybe I'm like, maybe here's how it works. For me, after a couple of months, I found that I eat my fruit all day. And then at night, I have a salad. And I'm like, I can still have my little experience setting up my phone, chopping my little, lettuce. But I did minimize like a lot of the really like, I eat a little bit of spinach here and there, and I eat a little bit of like maybe arugula for the calcium, but for the most part, I eat really a fruit based diet, and then I have like a salad at night with like some healthy fats like avocados and things like that. Well, if you think they're healthy, some say the omega ratio is not right, but for me, I don't have any of the real fatty fruits unless I were to just eat a lot of coconut. So I'm like, once I read about that, we need a certain amount of fat. I'm like, well, that's the best I have right now is my avocados. And then it was like my excuse not to give them up. So, but
Yeah.
that's how I've been doing it. And I feel better and I feel like I've been maintaining my weight and I don't feel this need to have to like run the cooked food or even feel like I want it. Like, it just made so much sense that I just feel like I'm remotivated. But again, I'm accepting and I love watching vegan cooking shows. And like I did eat cooked food. I was talking to you about that one weekend. And I did on the holiday as well, which didn't have the same experience on the holiday. Obviously, never meat cooked food, but I like a vegan Thanksgiving, type dinner. And I felt like that might be my last time because I feel like this year I really want to explore like if I want to do that traditional thing, I want to bring like a raw vegan, maybe something with cranberry or you know what I mean? And like it was funny because I made that at home here for us. And then when we went to Thanksgiving to my family, I brought like a huge bag of the little clementine oranges. And like everyone was sitting there eating oranges because I came later after the whole meat thing had already happened. And so we were all, able to still spend some family time. And I'm like, this is great. Whoever thought like 10 years ago I'd be at my family's on Thanksgiving and they'd be eating clementines with me, right?
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah.
You guys eat fruit for dessert, even if you already had your pies before I got here. Just humor me.
So
But
cute.
that's
I love
my
this.
like crazy journey, right? Like from meat to raw to cooked to raw, and I'm just excited because I love telling people all the information. I'm going to do this course that has, like, I want to do, look, this is what the word vegan means. I really want to just put out there all the information that people need to know and then talk about the different kinds of diets. Because I feel like it's a shame that some people say, I tried vegan and it didn't work,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can't try vegan and it didn't work. You can try a vegan diet, right? But like, it's like the diet is so many different variations of it. I know Don talks about that. Even within raw, there's high fat, there's gourmet raw, but even within the regular vegan world, you could say it didn't work for me because I ate potato chips for 6 weeks.
Yeah. I did potato
Chips. I felt
sauce.
like crap after, right? Like, so now it's like you have to do the vegan diet like a whole food plant based diet.
Yeah.
You are not probably going to have any good effects, but then and we could go into that. I have a lot of people that eat cooked food, but I've truly learned what there are some, like, in my opinion, that there are lots of benefits to eating raw because of the things that are formed when you heat the food to high temperatures. So I choose not to
Yeah.
not eat cooked food, or if I do, ever. I can't say that because I said I was, never going to be vegan. So I just truly feel like in my heart now it feels wrong for me because that's my, where I am in my level of consciousness now. I only want to eat the raw food.
Yeah.
How we were
Oh,
the only species, what's everyone say? We're the only species who doesn't eat food in its natural state, right? And I'm like, well, I want to be like my other species.
yeah. We want to live like our natural life, like our natural design
Yes, as much as possible,
as
except
much as
for your
possible.
cell phone, right? And I do like take my green boost and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel like there has been a big difference when you started the green boost, the green juice, what is it called?
Oh yeah, like I think what I've learned a lot too is that our fruit isn't made exactly as it was, or if you were able to grow it organically. Which I interviewed a lady named Miss Mary Jones, and I have like a link that I share that she referred me to, and a couple other people like Ed Logan, I believe, has this affiliated with a different type of company too, but he has like Fruit for Your Life. It's a really cool channel too. I've interviewed him, but they actually, like, Miss Mary grows her own food in a tower. Like, even if you live in like an apartment and you don't have a lot of land, she actually grows her own like stuff in this tower
Wow.
garden, which I think is cool. I'm like saving up. I'm like, I need one of these because I don't think my landlord would be too kind if I took the little bit of land outside of my apartment and planted a garden. But maybe I could supply food for the house, right? We'll see how
Yeah.
but it gets cold here and I probably wouldn't know what I'm doing. So um, I'm like, so I'm always buying fruit from the store. So like the fruit that's produced in our stores may not have the proper like nutrients in the soil, whereas like you're not maybe getting the same amounts of everything that you would have gotten like hundreds of thousands of years ago. And like I've even like I think it was Brian Clement who talks about how there's so much higher of a sugar content because they've removed the seeds and they
Mm.
kind of manipulate it. It's still the healthiest thing you can eat. Like you shouldn't not eat fruit because it might not have all the nutrients. So that kind of made sense when I heard that from Don Bennett. And I said, you know what? There's not an all or nothing approach to anything. There's gray areas, and I think we get caught up a lot of times in like you should do it this way, and if you hear new information, you block it out. And I'm like, no, that kind of makes sense to me. That I might need to make sure, like, what's it going to hurt if I take extra nutrients sometimes, right? To make sure. So I was like, first I was anti-supplement, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take it. It's like it comes in a jar. It's called Daily Green Boost, and you
Oh yeah.
put 2 tablespoons. I'm up to like maybe 1.5 now. I'm kind of working my way because I only just started that in like February. No, January, I think, right after Christmas. My
Mm.
mom got it for me for Christmas. I was like, cheap, right? Asking for that as my present, just to see if I liked it. But I do. It's not like I noticed an immediate difference, but I do notice I sleep a little bit better. I feel a bit more calm, and I think mentally feel better knowing I'm getting a little bit of extra like minerals and B vitamins. And then I just recently, because then I started reading about, I was telling you about sometimes I'll experience some types of anxiety, and I read how important like magnesium is, and that might not be as much in our soil because it's grown for profit. So they kind of just throw in what they have to. So maybe a
Mm.
fruit that would have had like, 4 grams of it might still have it, but might have only this much. So I'm like, you know what? I started taking one of the like the vegan complete vitamins of it has like I think it's from Complement, it has like B12, um magnesium, selenium, which is good for hormones, and and there's a whole thing surrounding whether to take supplements. I know in like the raw vegan world, and
Yeah.
I think what makes a lot of sense is that when this is another article, I could share the link with you from Don, but he was telling me we did a live stream that said the health the nutrients you may get less of on a healthy vegan diet. So like if you're eating standard American diet, you're getting some of your nutrients. Let's say you eat oatmeal that's like processed. It has lots of sugar and maybe you're putting a lot of bad stuff in it, but it also is like sprayed with vitamin D. Like sometimes you'll see like 9 essential vitamins and nutrients in this, so you're getting all the bad junk that goes with it and the heart
Yeah.
problems and stuff and the
Yeah,
sugar.
they're like, there's vitamin B in it. You should take
Vitamin
it.
D. So like we could have vegans trying the vegan diet, getting really healthy and still feeling lethargic and not good because they're missing one of the little nutrients. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be like fully talking with new vegans and not wanting to put that, it depends like where you're coming from in your diet. Are you deficient in a bunch of stuff? Like I don't think we should say all or nothing, whether you can make your own B12, but if you eat ginger, I've heard that can inhibit it. And if you're not fully absorbing all your nutrients, like if you are coming from this diet and you haven't been eating clean for many years, we might not even be absorbing half the things we're putting in because it's our body's working on other things. And like I've been really studying like a lot about energy conservation and how like our digestion just means everything. Like our body can't work on all its healing and other functions when it's working on like, oh no, now they put this cooked food, I need a white blood cell, now they put this meat in here and I'm having to work extra hard because this is a foreign substance in my body. And it's like almost like if we looked at our body like a machine, we would
Yeah.
have it in there overworking and it was probably trying to repel all this stuff. And like, I'm trying to keep her healthy, here comes another meat product,
Yeah, here comes something else.
comes this, here comes
Yeah, let's.
oh, sugar, oh no, like not fruit sugar.
Wait, guys, we gotta go there. No, no, no. Oh, there's something else coming in.
Right. And I was like, another thing that amazed me, and that's why I made that diabetes video, because my family suffers with type 2 and high blood pressure and things like that. And I always thought, you know what, I'm glad that I'm doing this now, because I know how much food plays a part. And I found out that fruit actually requires little to no insulin, the fructose or whatever it converts to get in the cells. And there
Yeah.
was actually the fat in our diet that is clogging the cells, and the sugar's made to look like the bad guy, and that's why it
Yeah.
has to get backed up in the blood. And I'm like, people are scared of sugar and not wanting to eat, I mean, fruit. And it's like, if you open your mind, like, yes, it can spike your sugar once you've already got those drains clogged, so you have to like, we are essentially like having to unclog everything we already did to ourselves. But the miracle is you can pretty much, and I can't say this probably in like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical doctor, but I have read and heard, and people you've even interviewed, so many testimonials of people who have reversed symptoms of disease. And I say symptoms because like disease is just what we're putting in my opinion, and how our body's reacting to it. And if we get rid of all that bad stuff, we stop the problem, and then we can start to put good stuff in that fuels us. And we're just like these people walking around with better attitudes. We're healthy. You don't have to worry about the medications that are causing you to take another medication. And like, if you choose to like still want to take medication and eat the way you want to eat, that's okay. But what I don't like is that the people are not given this information. Like, we should be able to make a choice of, okay, here's the right healthiest diet you can eat, and
Yeah.
you can eat this way, and here's the you can actually heal yourself on food. And like, we have amazing medical doctors who, like, we need them there because there's already so much going on. We need them to be there in those emergency situations. I've heard miracle stories, and I know they could truly want to help people, but I also feel like we're not telling people the whole story. Whenever you hand someone a medication, they should also be given a pamphlet that says, but if you don't want to take this, here's an alternative. Here's a
Yes.
practitioner you can go to become on a healthy raw vegan diet or a healthy whole
Mm,
plant-based diet that could eliminate your condition just the same. And that's the part that is missing, I think.
yeah, I totally agree. Oh gosh. Jen, you said so many good things. I
I
want
know, like, let me let her talk.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta let you talk, and I want to ask so many questions, but you already answered so many, and I just so agree with you. And I love the way that you say about medical doctors, like you really honor them for what they do and for what they bring to the table. But the fact is that they are not able to reverse disease, and that's where all of us like come in with our experiences and like the detox community. And like
Mhm.
the only way to define health, like regaining our health, is through the fruit diet or our original diet, and doing the fasting, and like checking out, okay, what is it that I need more, to support the body.
Mhm.
So I love, yeah, I really love your approach.
We just, I think, for a lot of my life, I took better care of things, on my, like, my TV and my car. And we like, oh, I would never just get a car and say like, oh, I think it probably likes to eat this kind of, oil or something, like I was watching on the one video, and I feel like, it's like, if we can also, like, I did a lot of, like I said, the put the information out there, explain that to people, because I think that's another connection, just like making the connection between animals and food. The other connection is this: we matter what we're putting in, and we also have to figure out a way to get excited about it, because we also don't want to live our life in thinking we're missing this or missing that, and we have to like fill our. I think I did one thing that said like complication causes procrastination. It was a video I did, just meaning that if something seems hard in your mind, you'll keep putting it off. Like I know sometimes when I have a video that I have so much to say and I'm not sure how to present it, I will never edit it. I'll just keep putting it off, because I'm like, I don't even know where
Yeah.
to begin. And I think that's where people get confused with the vegan diet. They're like, oh, it's too hard. I wouldn't know what to cook. I don't know if I can go raw. I'd be hungry all the time. But you have to stop looking at like what you can't have. I won't be able to have this and that, and like get excited about fresh living food. And it's not going to work right away. When I was on that first day, I had all these vegetables sitting there and I was like, I don't know. I don't have, how am I going to not eat meat, And then you realize that over time, when you start putting good stuff in, your body is kind of like your car, and it starts working good. And your body, like I said in the complication video, it realizes it's not that complicated. Like your diet that you normally eat, you probably eat the same 4 to 5 things every week. When you go out to a restaurant, you pick the same things. It's the same thing for me now. Like, when I get ready to order from the store, I know exactly what I get. Like I know what fruits I love. Sometimes I'll try some new stuff just like you would in your regular diet. And like when you see that plate sitting there of like all that fresh food, and like you have to like absorb yourself and stuff, like watch all these interviews and these inspirational stories, listen to educational people talking about how much the broad benefits you. Because if you don't do that, your old information is going to be stuck there and you'll never be able to open your mind and make it make sense to you. You know what I mean? Like keep
Mm,
and listening until it resonates, and then get in a community of people like all the vegan groups, and you'll see people that are thinking like you, because it's easy probably to revert back if you're around your work crew and they are like, come on, have some pizza and all this.
yeah,
It's
that is so true.
I
I
think
wanted to,
it's like you just feel so much energy and so good. Like you don't want to, you want to experience it. I don't sit down at night and look at my plate and like, oh man, I wish I had this or that or this or that. Maybe if you're detoxing in those first couple of days, you're going to feel that, but like I think day 3 when I went back onto my raw journey from the other experience I had, it
Mm.
felt like it almost that's when it felt right. That's when I was craving my oranges and my bananas, and I was feeling like, oh yes, I get to have that salad tonight, maybe I'll try this little dressing mix on it, and
Yeah.
that excitement came back. And I think it's about making comfort experiences with your new diet too, because like a lot of our food is like what we had at holidays and our family when we were young, and maybe those people aren't even around anymore, and you want to embrace that food that you used to experience, but you really have to create new memories and realize that that food is just like something you've given up. Like if you've smoked before and you give up cigarettes and you look and say, like, oh, I see that person enjoying the cigarette, but it doesn't make you want to pick up a cigarette and smoke it. It's like, oh, I remember when that was me, but that's not me now. This is what my new life is. And you can start to experience that, but you've got to like let go and let yourself open up to the new world that you're in. And now, like when I went raw again, I immediately went back to my old kitchen because I was living somewhere else, and I thought about my first experiences when I knew nothing about this, and I got all excited, like having my salad there, and kind of memories flowed through my mind of the big bowl
Yeah.
I used and the little veggie tray thing. And like, so that is now an experience to me that I've created. Whereas, I had experiences with cooked food too, but this one has that positive thing going on inside me that you get, instead of all your old memories and food and, you
Mm.
have. So it just makes you want to keep elevating to a new level of your journey too. Like, we were talking about, I stopped drinking alcohol throughout
Yeah.
this process, which I had drank for, not my whole life, obviously. I wasn't sitting in a high chair with a shot, but, I enjoyed wine a lot. And then I realized at some point, I'm putting all this healthy stuff in, yet I'm giving my body something that it's working so hard to have to like cleanse out of me. It's like I'm putting this
Yeah.
bad pollutant in, and it just didn't make sense to me anymore, and it's difficult because it's a habit, but it makes you continue on this journey to want to help others. It also like just, I don't know, it's just been a real blessing, and I love that you allowed me to come on and tell everyone about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Really, I love that you are here. And just this question popped up in myself because we're talking about becoming the new you. And I was wondering, like, how could you share with us how did you feel before? When did the transformation come on the inside, right? Because you lost like more than 50 pounds, but after that, the transformation was already happened or it was a process? And can you take us through like how you changed on the inside?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now it was 5 years ago, so I'm getting old, Amber. I'll try to remember. I'm just kidding. I still
No! Raw vegans or vegetarians, they don't lose their.
really young, right? I can remember it. Yeah, I think what really stood out to me the most was the energy level and this sense of kind of calm and like connection with people. It's almost weird because you're more different than anybody you're around, but you almost feel more connected to them as humans than you've ever been. And you're more grateful, I think, when you're having like raw food. It like connects you with the earth. You see a tree or a plant for something that is what it is. Like the natural laws kind of stand out to you even more of like,
Mm,
beautiful, look how this grew and was, provided for me to eat, and then the seeds to be replanted. And like, I think just a really energy and calm, which usually those two words don't go in the same sentence, but I think spiritually that's what happened. And I think that I still stayed very grateful and motivated, but I can always see a difference when I eat very like a lot of raw food or fully raw food, in that sense of just the skin feels different. Your body feels lighter. You feel just more connected, and you even like, I think you go through a period of time if you go raw where you really are raw getting in touch with your emotions. So you might go through like a high, and then you might be like really in your head for a minute, like realizing, things that you have to like get in touch with because you're not masking it with the foods,
Yeah.
foods or processed foods, alcohol or anything like that. You're just, your brain is detoxing too, like, wow, we have to deal with this. And then all of a sudden you just turn over this new leaf where you're just like, I feel more in control of my life, and my well-being. And you feel like you're aligned with, okay, I don't have this struggle that I'm putting something in that doesn't belong there and it could cause me a health issue. You also feel like you're doing right by your body, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
And I'm very blessed too to have like a partner who's, is wonderful and doesn't mind putting up with my vegan stories, and has even became vegan too. She definitely has been very supportive, so I appreciate
Oh,
that. Thank you, Dawn.
oh, that is amazing. Is she watching right now?
She is in the other office, like that we her little office. She does stock trading, so I don't think she's. I don't hear her moving around. She might be intense in a Zoom call, but
Oh,
yeah, I definitely will. I told her that you'll have to at one point interview her about her journey. She has been. She did like a 2 week grape cleanse recently here, but then
yeah.
she, like the rest of us, struggles back and forth with like cooked, food. So she's back on her raw journey, and this is day two. But I don't ever really push. I'm just like, I set like my own standards and eat that, and I think that helped the first time around because people were like, what are you doing? Why do you look so energetic? Why are you changing? Why did you lose all this weight? Right? It's like, I need to try this, and then
Yeah.
we started it together, but then she didn't continue at first, and then she came back to it, and then we both went on the cooked food journey for years, trying all the vegan foods out there. And then I
Yeah.
was like, you know what, once I had that one epiphany, it found out the word frugivore. I was like, that's what I'm supposed to be. I can't do anything else. I'm going raw again. This is I feel like my home, like where I belong. And so, I think
Mm,
that that's all we can do is tell people our story, show them
yeah.
inspiration, be that person to like help them wherever they are. If you're, really eating a bad, terrible diet and you can go to eating rice and beans in the evening, then that's still like a level up from where you are if you're eating steak 3 times a day, right? So, just keep that growth. But if you can do it and you can just, in a healthy, safe way, making sure you're getting all your nutrients, eat fruit. And especially if you live in like a tropical area, that's even better. You can eat all those good fruits that I'm always jealous of that I can't find here, right? I want to
Yeah.
try these sapotes so bad.
Me too. Me
Like,
too.
I always see people like it tastes like pudding, and I'm like, I can't find one. So that's gonna be my mission this summer. I've got like I just tried dragon fruit though, and that's pretty cool. I was like, that's been my excitement this month. There was two different kinds, and I never even knew the fruit existed. Right? I thought like, I don't know. I thought a
Yeah.
dragon
And
was a.
which one did you try? Like which color?
I tried the pink and the yellow, but not the one that's pink inside. This one was like the white with the spots.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't like really, someone said I didn't have it ripe enough, but I let one almost ripen. It's good to me. I like refreshing fruit, but it's not like, to me, it doesn't taste like a high sugar content. Like, it's kind of like a cucumber, sweeter a little bit than a cucumber, but more of that kind of refreshing taste as
Yeah.
opposed to, but the yellow one was actually sweet, really good, like sweet. Like, I think, but both of them gave me this like boost of energy. And I was like, last week my whole kick I was on was like vitamin C boost iron absorption, and the dragon fruit has both of them. So that's why I got this like really
Really?
energetic kick. But then it has magnesium in it, which also brings like a sense of calm, which is also why I felt like calm. And I'm like, it's just all this food is so good. It gives you this calm energy, like, and I get all nerded out over my little fruit.
Oh
Um,
my goodness, I love what you're sharing because I'm exactly the same. Then I'm eating something, I'm like, this is so good. Like, what actually happens to my body now? And then I'm gonna look it up because today I ate a pineapple and I barely find like really good ripe pineapples here. But when I find a yellow one, I'm like gonna grab it. Sometimes there are two, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
we're like that's how I am with soft avocados at the store that aren't rock hard. I'll like
yeah,
eyeing up the person, like, are they gonna take that one? I know
yeah.
they'll take it, right?
Even when you don't need it, like it's like I gotta have it. So
You
I
know,
let it ripen even longer, and then I was eating it today, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like every piece just had a different taste. It was incredible,
oh, it's
and I
so
was just at the
good.
same time looking up, like, what actually is happening to my body, And
Yeah.
so many, and it's actually like really cleansing to the liver and the gallbladder, and I still have some issues there because I've come a long way. Let's say it like that. So I was
That's
like, oh,
amazing.
maybe that's why it's really good for your digestion as well. And I've had like bowel issues since I was a little one. I'm still working on that. And I'm sometimes so like, not jealous, but how do you call it? When people share with me that they had like Crohn's disease and they had like fruit for 2 months and they have no issues. And I'm like, 2 months?
Right. What?
Working on that? Yeah. So we, it,
It's a
everyone's,
journey, right? Everyone's a little different because we're all coming from a little different conditions, but
yeah,
the
yeah.
more longer we go, the healthier you'll be, right? How long have you been eating the just fruit?
Now only like 2 years.
Oh, only that's a long time. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I actually have kind of a similar story because I was a raw vegan many years before. I did it for 2 years and then I lost track. Like I just totally lost track of everything, my life.
Yeah.
Just and I'm really really grateful that God showed me the way back because this time, when you go raw and then you go back to like eating crap, let's say it like this. Yeah, you're not gonna feel good. It's going to be even harder on your body. I
Yeah.
think when you're already
Right?
having,
Because it's like you shock it the other way, I think,
yeah,
right? Like, yeah, I was like crazy. I woke up from one time, one cold in 5 years was after 3 months raw and then a weekend of cooked food. And I never, I was like, this is not good. And my body didn't like it. It created all this mucus because it's like, what's this?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the mucus is not bad, guys. The mucus is actually there to help the body to protect it. But yeah, too much mucus is not helpful.
And I'm glad that it sounds like, I mean, you seem like you look very healthy. I'm glad you're feeling better from that. That's amazing. 2 years of
Thank you
fruit.
so much. That's so kind. I actually did a 3 month juice fast, and you were talking about losing weight. Well, I lost so much weight. Everybody around me was just freaking out, and I was like, "Oh, I look pretty good. Feels so good." But now I actually have more, like, a little bit more meat on my body, and that's also good, I think, for me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I definitely think, that we have to get to a comfortable place. And usually after we detox and we get like, I think in the beginning I had to eat like more food. Now I've kind of just plateaued out where I have a little schedule, which I'll mix up things in there every now and then. Like, but I'll have either like I'll have moringa. I don't know if you've heard of that moringa leaf powder.
yeah,
Of
yeah,
that like in the morning, that's got like so many nutrients in it, like all kinds of just I don't know, all kinds, like more than spinach of iron and all kinds of stuff it says anyway. I've been taking that like longer than I've been vegan though, so I just kept at it. And then I'll have like, the like at lunch maybe, like I'll have clementines and the dragon fruit a little bit later because I got into mono eating, which I find has been so helpful for,
Yeah.
it's almost like I feel weird if I'm putting two things together at once, like two fruits sometimes. I just like to experience each one on its own, even if like 15 minutes later I eat the other one.
Yeah.
And like that's just a different level that I've gotten to. Like, 5 years ago, I would have been happy to have a fruit bowl. And now I'm like, on this like other journey of I want to eat this whole fruit by itself. So like people who are just coming into this probably are like, oh gosh, she's being picky. But it really does affect digestion. I can feel a difference if I eat a whole bunch of stuff mixed together. Like you can definitely feel like a little
Yeah.
stomach discomfort, rather than doing it the other way. But I think when you're eating certain ways, we don't realize the discomfort until we feel how much better it is the other way. And
Exactly.
in that like the way, and then I'll have what do I eat? Like usually I'll eat like four clementines and or
Mm.
three oranges if they're bigger. Then I have my bananas mixed with daily green boost and my complement vitamins a little before that maybe. And then I'll have like really I think that's all I really will eat until like dinner, which I'll probably have like three or four bananas with that mixture. And then also, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, I've been on the dragon fruits now for my lunch, but then I always have oranges because I feel like that is so important to have a citrus, fruit in there too. And then
Yeah.
um, I do like my dinner. It's mainly like honestly like a fruit salad, but it looks like vegetables. I'll do like cucumbers. I've been like off and on with tomatoes. I'm back with tomatoes again because I heard they might be able to form inflammation over time, but then I still eat them. A little bit of those, and I eat a lot of sprouts, like bean sprouts,
Mm.
things like,
Nice.
and then avocado, of course, which is fruit. Sometimes I'll eat peas, which I found out was a fruit, So like,
Yes. Like, yes.
I'm like, that's a fruit. Okay, well, I'm putting that in. Technically, it's a fruit, right? And then like romaine and lettuce, and I never knew there was so many different kinds of lettuce out there, right? And I don't know. Sometimes I'll just throw other things on that I feel like, you know what, I kind of feel like that. Like I feel like my body, oddly enough, I did like grapes. I intended to do a week of grapes, but I only did 2 days. Um, and I may do it again, but like I've been on this kick this year of like natural healing, and I felt like my body was craving a banana, not like craving like cooked food or something weird, but I was like, does that mean I need some potassium? And I was like, I want, like, when you really get in touch with your body, we're like
Yeah.
animals, I think, in a sense. Like an animal knows what it needs. Like I've heard, um, people say, like, if you think about it, we're the only ones that like really we choose what we eat instead of innately knowing this is
Yeah.
what I need, this is when I'm full, and I've noticed that since I've been raw, that also happens where, I won't even realize why I'm craving something. And then I look up the nutrients and I'm like, that's it. I was feeling a little low energy and my body immediately went for the orange, because of the vitamin C. It probably needed like a boost. And it's just like you can really trust your body. And sometimes I don't eat all day at all. Like I'll wait until like 6 o'clock at night. I'll start in with that stuff I told you I normally eat. And
Yeah.
like it's like your body might be trying to heal something that you don't know about. Like you begin to
Mm.
kind of trust your body. I've never not ate for a full like 24 hours. I commend everybody who does the fast. I haven't gone that way, and I haven't done juice fast yet. So
Mm.
um, I'm like, maybe I need to get my absorption right. I don't know, but I get kind of like what do you call it? Like I get in a habit of something when I find something that's good, and I can literally like eat the same five
Yeah.
things each day, and then I'm like, but maybe I should mix it up a little, and I'll throw in like two other things once in a while. But I literally am just like that, like a I've always been that way. That I did, if I liked something, I could eat it every single day. So I could probably do a mono fruit fast, right? Because of that, like or feast. Is it fast feast? I don't
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of fruit would you like to choose, do you think?
I mean, I feel like if I had to choose one, like those grapes seem like the best choice just because of how detoxifying they are. Like I hear lots of wonderful stories for grapes if I was gonna do that. And for like juice, I wonder like how do you you've done juice, right? Like
Yeah.
what do you like do you do green juice or no? You would do fruit juice, but do you like what is your favorite one to have? Like do you do one juice through the whole thing or just different kinds?
That's a great question. When I started off, I had no experience. I just did my thing. So the first thing I started with was just simple, plain orange juice from the store, but we can buy it for fresh because I
Oh,
didn't have a machine yet. So I bought it fresh from the store. They have this machine and you can, push the button and it's doing its work.
wow. And where is
Yes.
that again?
Sorry?
Where are you like located geographically? Like where do they
In the Netherlands.
Oh man, I need to be there. You can buy I mean, and that's the sad thing. I was enamored that you could buy fresh juice because I can never find like fresh
No.
juice unless you go to like a juice bar or somewhere that has fresh
Whoa.
cold pressed juice. That's amazing.
Wow, I didn't know. I was so privileged. I thought they have it everywhere, but
Not where I've been. I'm on the east coast of Maryland, and maybe people can leave in the comments if you know, like at the store,
yeah,
theirs is all like Minute Maid and from concentrate and like no pulp and sugar
yeah,
in it.
yeah, that would be so great. Yeah, I really pray that it will come and that you will find it because it's so good and so easy as well. But that's where I started with, and then I just started buying a lot of fruits and vegetables. So I made green juices. Then I found this guy on the internet. I have to remember his name. He's a Dutch guy as well, but he speaks English and he makes a lot of content about juicing. He's also a juice
Oh, okay.
coach.
I
I
might have
think,
seen him.
yeah. What is his name? His,
Not it's not oh man, I'm thinking of someone else. That's a different guy. I don't think he does the juice thing. He does like a lot of the breathing. I was thinking of the guy who advertises like the phytoplankton, I think. But I can't think of the juice
oh,
person.
that guy. I also know him. Because of him, I started taking the phytoplankton, and
I
it
have the bag and I've been scared to take it. Like,
is really good. I am really enthusiastic about it because my hair was falling out, kind of, which was probably also a detox like symptom. But when I started taking the phytoplankton, it really feels good. I don't take it every day. I just take it like a couple of days in a week or something. And
yeah,
sometimes I forget it for a week because I'm a bit like that as well, like a little bit random. And then I think, maybe I should take it again.
yeah.
It feels, yeah, I don't know why exactly, but it feels really good on my body. I don't do any other green juices or powders or supplements. I do, let's see, I do some herbs as well. Yeah. But
I
about the
do a lot
juicing,
of herbs. Which ones do you take? Like, what's the good ones?
ooh, good question. So I have to think about the translation from Dutch to English.
Oh, okay. Never. You can just send it to
Nick-
me.
Oh, I definitely can say juniper berry. I really love that
Okay.
one for the kidneys because the kidneys are very important for the elimination.
Mm-hmm.
Then I love licorice root, and those are really good to support and strengthen the adrenal glands, which are on top of the kidneys.
I'll
And
check
so
it out.
the adrenals and the kidneys, they work together. So if one of those are down, like they don't function properly.
Okay.
And so the kidneys are like one of the most important organs for elimination. So if you're going to detox and your kidneys are not filtering properly, you can, yeah, just you have to imagine like all the waste stays kind of in the body. Of
Mhm.
course, it doesn't fully stay in the body because the body is always able to detox. It's always looking for ways through the skin. It will definitely come out of the skin if it cannot come out through the kidneys.
Yeah. And
Through the
that's why a lot
bowels.
of people heal their like their skin conditions when
Yeah,
they give up dairy, because I think that's the skin probably trying to detox all of that,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. That's like I learned so much. I didn't know that how important the kidney. I mean, I knew they were important, in a way, but like that's pretty cool.
I
You know
know.
so much about detoxing.
I'm also so grateful that I've learned this information from Dr. Morse, and he has this international school for natural healing. It is called, I think. And I also work with a detoxification specialist who really like taught me all these things about the herbs, about the fruits, about fasting. That I'm like, whoa, this should be mandatory in schools. That people know, okay, this is what I should do today to, get myself healthy again. Like just the
Right.
basic stuff: grounding, sunshine, good relationships, feeling yourself, journaling, meditating, relationship with God, relationship with yourself, fruits, herbs, some other good things, dry brushing, it's so
Yeah.
simple if you know it, but
It is. And like that's what I didn't realize initially was that whole well-rounded thing that we need. Like there's tons of vitamins we get from sunlight, that that's
wow,
that's
yeah,
necessary. We need to get that sunlight. We need to move around a little bit. We don't need to over lift like 900 pounds and things like that. In my opinion, I think we need to do what we were naturally meant outside to do, which would be like, climbing and walking, to get food. And like, it seems like we make it overcomplicated health sometimes, don't we? Like,
yeah,
and it should, like, all those courses that have in school, health is not anything to do with how to really make yourself healthy. Like it doesn't tell you what you should eat. It doesn't tell you, at least where I went to school, it doesn't, it didn't tell you about rest and sunshine and exercise, which is like, and detoxing in how your body can heal itself. Like we're not
yeah.
taught any of that. You're right. That should be. I'm going to leave that to you to get that in all the schools.
Oh my gosh, Lord.
Yes. We'll have to start an organization, right?
Well, maybe. I would
Pretty.
love to. I honestly would love to. And if I'm called for it and, it's my path, yeah, this is just like where I'm starting here and let's see where God takes me. But
I love that. I love that attitude, because who knew it would bring us here, right?
yeah,
That's amazing. And definitely, I think sometimes we don't always know how our prayers are being answered in the heat of it. A lot of the trials and things we go through bring us out to be able to help other people.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's what you're doing as well. And I really, really honor you for that.
I
Yeah.
love just hearing people's stories and their journeys, and that's why I love having the YouTube channel and to be able to bring this, information. Like I think knowledge is what the world really needs, and
Yeah.
I like picked that name where I left out the K.
Yeah. I was looking I was looking for her Instagram because I wanted to tag her in the comments or in sorry, the message, that we're gonna do the interview. And then I was like, vegan knowledge. I couldn't find it because the K was just not there in the name.
It was like I was trying to be what do you call it? Like I was trying to just make it flow like vegan
Yeah.
knowledge, right? And then someone thought it was now. Like someone that was
Now.
with a
Yeah.
logo, they put the now in all capitals, and I was like, I never realized that it actually had the word now in it. Like it's funny how different people perceive different
Yeah.
things. Right? I was like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't even do that on purpose.
That is so interesting.
It's
That's
like, but it looks like I'm being, what do you call it? Bossy, right? Vegan now. You go
yeah,
vegan.
yeah, vegan now. That's so good. Uh, well, I actually have some questions here for you. Um, but you already shared so many good things that I'm like, okay, so you already said where people could start, right? When they want to start feeling healthier. You
Yeah.
already shared a lot. Do you want to add something else to that?
Just I think you have to like just to get excited about it, like go to the store and find like 4 or 5 fruits that you really like, especially if you have kids, like let them help pick them out so that they start to eat, better, and buy things that, or get a like someone who has a meal plan that you want to give a try, you know what I mean? And just like I do, like I don't have one for, well, I used to have one. I haven't had a grocery list for like vegan food. I don't have to dig that out, but like I do like a meal plan of what I eat, like my whole entire, like here's what fruits to select from for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's like a free link, that I can give. But it's like you want to get excited about it, and like from where you are, like what makes sense for your family right now. Like if you're not trying to, like you're not trying to get to that level and you want to heal yourself and you want to go completely raw, if that's not realistic for you, like go a level up from where you are beginning, at least, replace your meat with rice and beans and some, you know recipes that you can come up with that are whole foods, eat whole foods, and then eventually move to eating more fruits, during the day. And like the best way to like completely, if you want to really clear out of all that stuff, is to just do it, and don't set a date too far in the future. Like if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I should do this, just go pull up your phone. We all have Instacart probably, and those type of places. Make an order right now of all these fresh produce, groceries, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Get your herbs that she mentioned, and like get all of it in the house, because you're going to make a bad choice if you don't have it there for you, and don't be afraid. Like in the beginning, I had to add like cashews to my salads. Like I had to do a little bit more fat because we're coming from a dense type
Yeah.
diet. So I think if you're, you don't want to not sustain it. So like I would eat my entire big salad, and then if I still felt a little bit hungry, I would eat a little bit more nuts, and then I would have my, blueberries and stuff for dessert. Find things you like, even if you're going to go to vegan food, you need to find things that you enjoy, just like you do now, because you don't want to sit there eating something you don't like. And I'll tell you one thing that happened. I used to have to like drown my salad in salad dressing, but the longer I was raw, the longer I felt like I started enjoying the taste of food. So like you're
Yeah.
going to be the same person you are today. Right now, if you're looking at this thing and you are crazy, I am not eating all vegetables and fruits, and you feel that way, you won't feel that way in 2 weeks, and you won't feel that way in a month. And in 2 months, you're going to feel so good that you're just going to be like, how did I not do this like 10 years ago, So I think the important, like if you need help, reach out to Amber, reach out to me. I'll leave her the link if I already haven't, to the vegan knowledge group. Like it's all like free stuff on there. You can just come on if you want to know like what you should have. Like tell me all the meals you had for dinner this week, and then we can like work on like veganizing them, like getting something that makes sense for you, and there's a lot of ideas that you can get from going on vegan groups, and like it's not real complicated. Like whether you want to be cooked food vegan or you want to be at this ultimate health level of completely raw and fruit
Yeah.
based, like it really isn't that difficult. Like people make it complicated. You've
It's
heard
true.
meals like I think I was hearing someone talk on your live stream yesterday when I was listening, and she was like, it was like I had these amazing like sushi wraps, and like with the nori, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. Like it made it sound like this gourmet meal, because I'm coming from, okay, my regular salad, right? Like
Yeah.
you get excited. Like I was like literally so excited to try like new fruits last week, and You can
Mm,
make things in the dehydrator if you want, like every now and then. You can have like a raw vegan wrap and things. I just haven't delved
yes.
into that. We kind of really messed up cucumber chips when we tried the dehydrator. So I was like, well, I want the water content in food anyway. I gave up on it after a while.
Cucumber chips.
We were going for it, right? But it's shriveled up little, I don't know, I would peel it off the thing. So I'm not quite, I'm working on that. My mom got us the dehydrator for Christmas, so I appreciate it. I'm going to get better with it. If you come to town, I'm going to cook you some kind of dehydrated
Oh my gosh, I want to come. I want to come. I would love to come and meet you in real life and eat cucumber chips with you.
maybe I'll just cut up the actual cucumber and keep it.
Maybe it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, definitely. I think give it a shot because, like, if you already aren't feeling good, like, really, what have you got to lose? And if you're on medication, I do have to say, please make your doctor monitor your medication because if you start to naturally heal your sugar and those cells get unclogged, and all of a sudden your sugars are like, hey, I can flow into the muscle cells like they're supposed to, but you're taking a medicine that reduces it out of your blood, all of a sudden you're going to feel like you're going to faint and like, oh, now it's too low. So it could make you think the
Yeah.
diet's doing it when really you needed to lower your medication and then eventually eliminate it. So that would be a disclosure. I'm not a medical doctor, but sometimes I have this clipboard and pretend I'm one on YouTube.
Yeah.
Say I can really get that nutrition degree, but it's just all from like all every moment that I have available, I'm literally either listening to a YouTube
Yeah.
educational channel about detox or about holistic health or healing or natural law or this part of the body, that part of the body, our own healing journey. You know how it is. Like we know we've just learned so much about things in these years. It's like I feel like I have a nutrition degree but never really got it. So
Yes, I know what you mean. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Okay, I got another question up here. How do you go about eating in social situations or gatherings?
that's a interesting one. It's always a little bit easier when I'm cooked food vegan because, like I said, like I could bring a big all these. I would bring food with me to like vegan Thanksgiving, or if my family comes here, I can cook them vegan burgers or whatever. But like when I'm raw, I look a little bit different, but it always opens up an opportunity for me to kind of discuss my journey sometimes at the beginning, but now people just know. It's like, oh, she's the crazy veggie lady, you know. So it's like after a while, it gets a bit easier if you have a close, group of friends or your family that you might visit either often or a couple times. They start to kind of support you in your journey when they see that you're healthy,
Yeah.
most people. And if not, it's unfortunate. You might still get those little, I don't know how you can eat that way. Here, have a piece of meat or
You
something.
need more protein. You
That,
need
yeah.
you need to eat like
We were meant to
diverse.
eat meat. That's why we evolved our brain.
We're cavemen. Yeah, that's how we evolved our brain.
I'm like, well, I think mine's working okay. I'm gonna stick with this. But yeah, like I think what happened really with that is we were like originated like in the tropics. So we were, as we moved further away from that, there might have been a time when there was a freeze, or I think people started eating as a survival mechanism, and then just kind of it became a cultural thing and it became part of what we do. So we think we are omnivore, but really we are frugivore. We choose omnivore. Maybe there were reasons that people did it, but we're not in that situation anymore now. And we're sicker than we've ever been and have more disease, more, issues health wise. We're all on medication. So it's
Yeah.
like I kind of look at it logically, in my opinion, if those people who I know that have went back to a more natural diet, even people who say I went on keto diet, which would drive me crazy, but like I always feel like, oh no, you're putting all this stuff in that I learned that's bad for you, but
Like
okay.
everything that you shouldn't do.
Better because you probably took out all the junk, other junk that you were eating. So for a while you're going to feel better, but like your
Yeah.
cells are continuing to get clogged and mucus building and inflammation. And I think it's unfortunate that people are really being taught that and I did it myself. Like I'm no different. I did that for a long time. I had only one thing on my plate and it was like meat and I lost weight, but I couldn't sustain it, luckily. When I was in my like late 20s probably I tried that diet when it was really popular,
Yeah.
but I didn't know then. I didn't, I had no idea. Just like we're all like in this learning process and people can make it so confusing sometimes, like it's really not. Just go buy some fruits and vegetables and
Yeah.
eat only that and don't eat any dairy or meat products. And you might have to read the back of labels and do a little work and you might, but the important thing is you don't want to make it look like when you're in a social setting, you want to look like how you are. Look, happy, healthy. If you're enjoying your food, and then sometimes you don't have to make it about food. You know what I mean? Like if you're just there to connect with your family, like maybe don't, go during the dinner, go after, or find ways that you can go to restaurants that have something there that you could eat, if you don't mind sitting at the table with them eating other things, and sometimes we have to, I think some people are really strict with that. They won't eat around the non-vegans and like I still embrace and enjoy the connections I make with people who are different than me so that I might be able to open my joy and my knowledge up to them in a nice way, not you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. People have to, we all had to come into this on our own way, in our own
Yes.
consciousness, and see something here or there and then make our own decision. Like I think we can't make decisions for people, but we can give them the knowledge to make the right decision, kind of like
Yeah.
bring your joy to the world and let it like spill over that gratitude to them instead of the other way. It's
That's
we all
beautiful.
were in a different place at one point, so we can all understand where others are, and they just sometimes don't approach it right, of things they don't understand. So we have to, I think, re-understand that they're just where we were at some point. Most of us. I mean, there's very few people who have been vegan, especially raw vegan, for their whole life. So the further we are from where we were, it's hard to identify with those people. But you really have to bring your mindset back to, look, I remember when I didn't think there was anything wrong with the way I ate, and I remember when I thought it was normal to feel bad,
Yeah.
and now that we're on this other side and we're like, but you could feel so much better, it's like you just want to like tug at them like a little kid and be like, please
Yeah.
eat this paper a week.
Yes, absolutely. But I
There's a
so
lot of sharing,
so yeah, but I think it's so important what you just said here, like the compassion, because I see sometimes vegans that they have so much compassion for animals, but then they're like burning, almost burning people, and I'm like, guys, this is maybe not the right direction you should
not the
go.
right approach, right? Yeah,
Not saying, but that's my personal conviction that maybe love is the better way and compassion because we've been there as well, right? So
yeah, and it's hard for some people because I think they see what goes on with animals and they find it urgent. We need to stop this. We need to stop this. But
and
there's
it
a
is,
way
yeah,
we have to do it to open people up to the idea. We can't be mean to them and expect them to be like, "Oh, I want to be just like you,"
yeah,
like, and then they end up being that way, and then it ends up a battle. And I've had so many conversations on Facebook that have ended with, I've never met a vegan that came across it and approached it like you do. Maybe I'll start looking into eating some plant foods, or I'll look into that article you gave me, because I never like go after someone or attack them, even if they've been a bit upsetting to me because that's where they are. You know what I mean? Like it's like if they say something off the wall about veganism, we have to step outside of ourselves and realize that they are. I think we were even mentioning this before we came on when you made that connection between like there's I never wanted to be told I was doing anything wrong or I did anything bad or be judged, and I think that's what happens on Facebook a lot, especially, or YouTube or wherever they're arguing in the comments, is they see something that challenges what they've always believed,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
angers them to have to bring that in and say, wait a minute, we shouldn't be eating animals? I'd have to change my whole life. No, no, you know what? You're wrong. We're supposed to do this. And like they're not ready to like open their mind up. So if we battle back at them, in my opinion, what we're gonna do is create that's okay then. Yes, see, those vegans are mean, they're angry. I don't want to be like them. I'm gonna come back at them. And then where does the conversation go with them leaving the conversation like, yep, I'm right in the same place I was before. But if we do it in a different way and say, hey, I thought this way before too. I thought just like you for my whole life. And trust me, I thought, you know what, I'll never eat anything but meat. But I actually came across this video and found this person healed this and it opened me up to it. And I've actually had this experience, and I'm not, you can
Yeah.
eat what you want, you can do what you want. I'm just saying this is the connection I've made, and not like try to tell them everything all at once. Just like for me, it was about losing weight. Now I've become an animal advocate. So I couldn't have started with someone telling me that you're wrong, you're killing animals, you know, and then would have responded to that. I had to get in where I was at that time thinking, oh, I need to lose weight. And that's how I came across the information. And then that led me to other vegans who then had other information. And then I was like, oh, okay, there's a connection here. Maybe I'm not supposed to have been eating animals anyway. Maybe that's why I didn't feel better. And like, I think it's an evolution and we can't, like, I think someone made this analogy before. When you first plant a seed, you can't, like, maybe it was I don't, Marikita, I think, Solis, she always talks about planting seeds and pre-vegans, she calls them, which I think is cool, instead of like non-vegan. It's like maybe they haven't reached their vegan time yet, right? And I always like welcome people to my page because you can't just plant a seed and expect it to be like, okay, now it's a whole plant, where's my fruit, right? You have to like nurture it and let it grow. So when we challenge each other with ideas, we have to at least be open. Like if I had thought I know everything when I was beginning raw, I might still never know that I could maintain my weight if I hadn't opened up and listened to the people I was interviewing and said, hey,
Yeah.
fruit, that kind of makes sense. Let me research that. I could have been shut off to it. And then I would have been no different than I was in the beginning of never accepting and challenging what I had learned in school or what I learned from doctors, right? So I think it's just important to have compassion and know that people don't want to fight. They don't really want to do that. They're doing it out of a defense mechanism.
Yes, I agree.
I
Yes.
studied psychology in school, and I think that's why I get so like wrapped up in the mind part of changing your diet, because it's more than just food, that we're
Yeah.
addicted to. It's we're addicted to comfort and culture and just everything that we've always known, and that's not easy to do. I commend everyone who has and that has made that journey to be different, because you're different than the rest of the world to be on your healing journey.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. Yes. So I was wondering, I have some more questions here, but we're already 1.5 hour.
Oh
And that's
my God.
it's not an issue. But I found that maybe after 1.5 hours, some people are like, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's just super interesting. So I'm just looking at the questions and thinking, what would be um, a good one? Mm, actually, I want to, yeah, this is a good one, I think. What do you believe the purpose of life is?
I truly believe the purpose of life is to find your purpose and your passion and to give it to others. Because even if you are someone who has been this really awesome mom to five children and you've nurtured them and helped them grow and you've been a blessing to them and in their life, and that's what your purpose was, then that was your purpose, to help those people grow, and I think even like if you come across this trial that we've had, like we've had, maybe this issue of pain or allergies, and we've been, like you said earlier, called to finding our purpose of that's where our passion is. Like we all have to work to make money, and some people are lucky enough, and hopefully I'll be able to align that at one day to have that, be able to sustain me while my buying my fruit with my passion. But right now it's like that's what my passion is, and that's what makes me wake up and get excited to wake up, is to tell the world that you can heal yourself, and your body can heal itself. And the biggest thing about it is I think we all have that, and like whether we know it or not, we want that. And sometimes you might think you don't have one, but then if you really take a look at your life and who you help around you every single day, you do have a purpose, and your purpose might have been to help that person that you did, to help that neighbor that you did yesterday. Tell You always say to people, if you're in the store and you see that you like, the person's outfit or their hair or something that's waiting on you, everybody's used to hearing negative things all the time. It might have been your purpose to make that person's day a lot better by saying, hey, I really like that sweater, and they were wondering all morning whether they should wear it or not, and that might have made them feel pretty that day, or made them feel better, and they might have been having a rough morning, and you just kind of made their day. So I think our purpose is really to help others and to be, compassionate and do whatever is in our heart to really do.
Yes, I really love that. You're talking about something that is not far away from you, but it's so close in the daily life, and you can live out your purpose now already.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Like I want to write a book. I want to do all
Yeah.
these YouTube videos, and I will in my time. Like,
Yes.
but, all of that is really my purpose today, was to be on here and tell my story, or my purpose today was to, tell the person that they did a great job at work, and really open up. The gratitude helps bring more of that, to you. And I think that's how we can truly live like how God intended us to live. Because if you look at nature, all of nature is there as a big reciprocal circle to help each other,
Yeah.
and it's easy and it flows, and there's no, resistance in it, and it just is, and I think if we can learn to be that way, in our daily life, as hard as it is with all the environmental things going on, I think if we can just learn to be that person, then we will be in a much better space. And like I said, I'm still working on it. I've already opened up to you that I do struggle from time to time with worry and anxiety. And then I just have to always reground myself and remember to put it up into, to God, and to really just open my heart to knowing that everything's always gonna work out, and I can handle anything that happens. And most of the time nothing's happening right now when we're talking about worry. It's always like a fight or flight thing. When things are good, your brain wants to go to something that might not be. And I really feel like since becoming raw again this year, it has really helped me get into a better space. Like it's hard to explain to people who haven't experienced it, but it definitely just opens up a new level of consciousness for you, where you're able to deal with things. You just
Yeah.
feel really grateful. It's like I'm always telling everybody, like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just spreading all this love. I look like, what do you call it? Like, I don't know. They used to call them hippies, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're modern day hippies. Like, yeah, I get what you mean. I can really relate to that. Like feeling this gratitude just for life, for everything, for your fruit, for
Yeah.
animals. just being alive, and that you just, I also feel that it's easier to release negative emotions or stuff, or stress or worry or anxiety, to because the body is more clean. It's not so blocked, right?
Yeah.
That's also a difference, I think.
And it
But
helps you take action. Like sometimes I'll be sitting here, and if I'm feeling like, oh, I should probably reach out to my sister, and say hi, but sometimes life gets busy. But now I feel like I take that time and say, hey, Brooke, I love you, or hey, mom, just wanted to say love you. Like you just become more. I feel like connected with people, like I was saying, or I just, might say, I really appreciate you for what you do, and show that gratitude to people. 'Cause
yeah,
they need to hear it. If you feel it, then say it. Not enough people say
yes,
things in this
yes,
world. They want to come at you with the negative, but we don't really often go to each other with positive. Like even with our, friends, like if they do something good, it's always important to take that moment and encourage them, because there's somebody else that probably came to them that same day and said they did something wrong.
yeah.
Like you should have done this or you should have done that. And sometimes people rarely hear, hey, you know what? You did a great job just being a human today.
Amen. Oh, I so love what you just said there. Like, we can think it, but if we don't say it, not everybody can read our minds, okay, guys? Like,
Right.
say it. What's on your heart for this person? Because it's like, the scriptures speak of that sweet words are like honey for the soul. And the honey is also related to, or a symbol for healing, right? It's also actually healthy for us, but there's a lot of other ideas about that as well. It's not vegan. Yet I do believe there are a lot of healing properties in it.
Hmm.
Um, but so yeah, use those positive words to bring healing and release healing to somebody out there.
Yes, I know. I've heard like so many opposing views on that. I just personally don't eat it because I haven't ever really ate a lot of honey, but I have heard like the healing properties, and then I've also heard the obviously the other arguments to it. So I'm like, I haven't studied enough of that, but I love that quote. That was beautiful. It was like the words are like honey for the soul. Is
For
that?
the soul.
That's so
Sweet,
cool.
yeah, sweet words or like kind words are like honey for the soul. Yeah.
Oh, that's really pretty. I love it.
Yeah, it's a bit longer. I can send it to you, you know?
Yeah, I love scriptures. I'm not very like well versed with remembering them, but I'd like to get better with that, because I feel like there's so many beautiful hidden gems in the word, right? Like that
Absolutely.
the way that it's interpreted makes, like I've heard so many people recently, talk about how there's so many messages in the Bible about how that here's the food that you were meant to eat, and we kind of don't,
Yeah, I
kind of
feel,
focus on that.
yes, and I feel like the Bible has had so much negative comments throughout, everything that happened in religion. But my personal experience, I wasn't brought up religious, but I had an encounter with God Himself, with Jesus, and like I've always been very open to the spiritual world, but I'm not. I didn't make it up. Like I'm pretty sure I didn't make it up because it was so real, and it never left me. Like this feeling and this presence of God has never left me.
Yes.
And so this is how I got to the Bible, and I just found there are so many interpretations, and there's so much left out as well, on purpose. But there's also like so much richness in there, and if we like read with Holy Spirit and we ask for the truth to be revealed and the symbols and everything that's written in there, then everything is opening up, and that's the beautiful thing. And I believe it's not only with the word, but like with everything, we can find truth in everything when
Yeah.
we're led by the Spirit of truth, and it can just be opened up for us. So I hope that the Bible will get a better reputation because
Yeah.
there's so much negativity around it, and I I get it, and also I just want to encourage people to you just start reading it. If you feel it in your heart, with Holy Spirit, with the God who is love. And now, actually, I'm talking about this. I wanted to ask you, what does God mean to you, or who is God to you?
Yeah, like it's interesting because when you were talking about that as far as being religious, I feel like my family wasn't like I was put in like vacation Bible school as a child and Sunday school when my grandmother would go to church. But it wasn't like we were, I would say, like a super religious family, like I've heard from others, like where everything focused around it, or we were like really involved in the church, or I was made to like pray 3 times a day or perform any type of like go to the midnight mass or whatever. We were kind of like liberal. And even like I remember my grandmother would like, even sometimes she would visit a church just because she wanted to hear that preacher. And my grandmother was probably the most religious, but my mom and her, they always had a relationship where they told me to pray. And as a kid, sometimes you're just praying because you're hearing, and I was hearing her, and she'd always mention everybody's name in the prayer, right? And so then I kind of moved on, and I kind of got away from that. I didn't continue, like, because it wasn't like I was in a church community where I continued to go to church and things. But so I kind of course, heard all the things about the religion, and sometimes there would be people that would push certain people away from the church if they did this or did that, or some people weren't welcome. And you started to hear like the politics of religion, and that started to make it not like for me maybe what I needed to be in. But I always kept that relationship in my heart with God. And I've also seen some things that I've prayed for, and I've felt that presence. Like I just have a spirit, like I have a little to me, like I guess because I'm a person who doesn't necessarily need like a something like a church to be in. I can stop right here and
Yeah.
kind of pray. And so I always have kept that. I still pray before I go to sleep at night. I still sometimes have to stop and like try to say, you know what, I need some help in this situation. Probably not as much as I always do, because I try to logically, I think, control a lot of things. And that's where a lot of anxiety comes in, because I think I should be doing more. I should be doing this, and like I find that the more connected I feel with that spiritual side, the more my mind settles and relaxes. So I always have to continue to remind myself to come back to that, and like that's what God is to me. It's a place that we can go, who is love, who is accepting, who doesn't judge, and who is there for you to put your worries on, because we technically are not supposed to worry. We're to give it to Him and let Him push us in the right direction. And when you just have a nudge or a feeling like you're supposed to do something, or you're supposed to say something, that's God pushing you that way. But we can get, I think, confused between our own mind and God, similar to how I was saying you can like know what foods to eat when you get in touch with your real true hunger and everything, and nutrition. It's the same, I feel like, with God. And periods of time where I feel closer to Him, I feel I'm being guided, as opposed to trying to be like, trying to move my way through it. Every time I just let it go, it comes naturally, like a plant growing, And I
Yeah.
thanks for having this conversation, because I just got reminded of that. And I'm like, yeah, why are you not being more spiritual and taking those times to pray?
Well, but I actually can hear that you're already doing that, and I think it's a lot about communion in your heart, because that's what something I had to learn. Like I was praying a lot out loud, but then I got burned out and sick and everything, and I didn't have energy to pray or do anything. I was just laying there and crying, and then this
Yeah.
conversation just started happening in my heart. So I've been cultivating this relationship with God within me, and also I started to understand that we are the temple of God. So I love what you just shared. It's within, right? It's that
Definitely.
place within where you come home, where you let your worries go. And maybe, yeah, maybe you feel the nudge now, I should pray more, but praying can also be in your heart.
Yeah, it has to kind of.
God doesn't communicate over words. It's
Mhm.
the way he speaks to us because we can understand, but he also actually the way is um, through feeling,
Yeah, I
right?
rarely ever pray out loud. I don't know, like maybe I should, but I just always do it kind of in my heart, right? Like I'm
Mm.
talking like if it's a spirit, I don't need to necessarily say it out loud, right? That's a human form where we have ears.
Yeah, I do think we have a voice and it is powerful, but I'm also like searching in that, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's both. We can use both ways.
definitely.
Yeah.
Great. I'm so glad that you are where you are now and not in that situation you were in where you mentioned
Hmm.
in pain.
Much. I'm also glad where you are at. God is so good, you know? That's
Yeah.
the thing. And we chose to take responsibility and just say, okay, I'm sick of feeling like this and I'm going to like start over.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's like I said, it wasn't this big decision that I planned out for a year and did all kinds of research. And that's why I tell people to just, if you get that nudge, do it. Because if you put it off, you probably never will. If you say, I'm going to do it in the first of the year or the first of the month or the first day of the week, it's
Yeah.
never going to come.
Now.
You never do it. Just do it right now. Like start the next meal.
Yeah. Amen.
And if you're not sure, then pray about it, right? And then they'll guide you to the right direction, I think.
Absolutely. I so believe in that. Yes. So you've been already sharing a bit about some of your dreams and things you want to do, but would you like to share again, like in 5 years, what you like to have accomplished? So where are you in 5 years?
Oh, in 5 years, that's awesome. I would love to be a teacher of, helping people to improve their health and their well-being and learn all things about vegan, like get rid of some of the myths. Like just I'm putting together like a course right now from and having like a support group so that we can meet and each week we'll go over like a different section. We'll start with what the word vegan means. It'll go to the different kinds of
Yes.
vegan diets. It'll go to how people have transformed their health and
Yeah.
different cures they've had, and then talk about meals that you can eat and maybe have like guest speakers and then talk about, of course, my journey, the raw journey, how people are healing, and just getting people all the way through everything I've learned in like a concise type way that wouldn't be so confusing for people who say, I want to go vegan, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And you have like tons of information out there. There's this course, that course, this course. That I feel like you said, it just needs to be one complete thing that you can have at your hands to give to somebody that wants to go vegan. That would be it. I want to write a book. I want to continue to do my YouTube channels and some open forums that are really cool, just to have people, because like in life we don't have a lot of people who are vegan or raw vegan especially. So if we can have little meetings online. We have the beauty of, you're in the Netherlands, I'm here in the East Coast in Maryland, and we're able to have this conversation. So, like,
Yeah.
in the amount of people we could bring together, just have a conversation. Like, I know online we can always talk, but like, I think sharing recipes and things and like sharing what we ate and sharing a new fruit we had or just sharing an experience like and our talking with like-minded people is so good for the psyche, and I think that takes a lot of
Yes.
people off of being vegan because they don't have anyone around that they can talk to. So I definitely feel like that, and doing whatever we can in like the next 5 years to make this my life basically, so that I can do this full time. I do feel like that's gonna happen as I pray for it. In whichever way it's gonna come to me, I just know that that's gonna be in the future, and I don't know how it's gonna happen, and I don't have to right now. But I know when I'm this passionate about something, logically, it will have to happen because it's in my heart to do it for other people. So I think that there will be ways that open up for me in that journey. And of course, I want to get like, you know, anything I can do to learn more and just keep
Yeah.
growing, learning, and meeting good people like you. And so that's what I see. And I want to like have fun and find joy in it over this next 5 years, and
Yeah.
enjoy life and do things that I want to do as far as, just a lot of, I have so much content ideas in my head, so many things I always want to talk about. It's like there's not enough time for me to do it all, but hopefully I've gotten a little bit out there and continue to grow my group. I'd like to have like a club that I could create. I love my show is called Amazing Plants Formation, so I thought I could make everyone plants formers, you know,
Yeah, that
Vision
sounds
meets the eye,
amazing.
like the old cartoon, right?
That's amazing.
But yeah, and like just continue. I really like. I mean, TikTok is really cool, but I enjoy YouTube, the community on here, especially in the raw vegan community. And I've just been inspired by so many people, and I feel like if I can be that inspiration for others when they come on to find something else and they accidentally see my video, and it could change their life, and that makes me happy, even if I don't know them.
So awesome.
And we're
Yeah.
saving animals in the process, right? Gotta love it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man. Yeah, and I can really see you going there, and I just thank you for doing it. Like following your heart, following your passion, and just not only dreaming but really taking the action. I honor you for doing that, and I really want to bless your journey and everything that God is going to do within your life.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm so thankful that I met you and I saw that post out of the blue that day. I forget what even page we were on, but I'm glad to meet you. And again, if you're open to it and you have some free time ever, I'd love to have you on the show and interview you and put your story out there because it's so inspirational. I know I can't wait to hear the full story.
I would feel so honored because I'm just like you, you know. I was super freaking nervous like the first time on camera, and I still am kind of. It doesn't feel natural to me. Um,
It
but it's
will
not
to us at
sweet.
some point.
What? Sorry?
It will at some point because you seem very natural. I can't
Yeah,
tell.
thank you. Yeah, it's my I think it's a favor of God. But anyways, I really want to share it because that's how I got on this journey. Just like you said, I watched other YouTubers and I heard about their transformation and they gave me hope to do the same. So I want to be the same for others out there, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The more testimonies we share, the more people see it or get the uh, opportunity to see it, right? We just need these waves of testimonies coming out, and then people will find it easily.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
what we need.
We definitely need the wave of it. The trend and the industry is trying to stop it at all costs. So we need to continue to put this information out there because
Yeah,
I mean that's their living and their livelihood. So they're going to want to, and people are already happy to find out why they should continue to eat the wrong things. So of course that information is going to be what goes viral. But I do believe if we continue to tell our stories, share our journeys, and what you're doing is so important too, because you're sharing other people's journey. So we're like,
yeah,
and the more if you're watching this and you find this inspiring, either mine or one of the other interviews, like share it to people on your Facebook page who might need it. Like we can all share amongst each other who already knows about this, but we really need to put it out to the general public who might be laying there suffering right now or
yeah.
not wondering how they're going to pay for their medication and just in not realizing they don't have the energy to get to work or they don't have the energy to play with their kids and they could be suffering. And that's why I think I wake up every day just ready to share this information no matter what's going on in work. If I have 30 minutes off work, I'm like, Let me hurry up.
Yeah.
Look at this little schedule I do on the Facebook page, and I'm putting out a link for the next YouTube, because it's like, I feel like I always need to put this out because there's not enough of it out there, right? So thank you for everything you do and for having the courage to like come on and share your journey, because without that, with you just knowing, you're not able to help others, and that takes a lot of energy and a lot of work and a lot of like getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that. So, Jen, where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook. It's called Vegan Knowledge. The whole name of it is Vegan Do It Group Vegan Knowledge. I thought that was cute before, like we can do it, vegan do it. I don't know. I made it more complicated than it had to be, too long, but you can just search Vegan Knowledge without the K, and to get to me on there, and you can join the community. I'm on Facebook under Jen Judd. It'll come up Jen Judd Don James, and which you can always find me on the Vegan Knowledge community, and then I'm on there with my actual name if you want a friend request me. The other way is on YouTube, Vegan Knowledge JJ, and I'll send you the links if you want to put them in like the comments or somewhere. And I'm on YouTube, Instagram too, Vegan Knowledge JJ, TikTok. I've been putting a little more stuff on Instagram and TikTok. I've been so like lax with other social media. I feel like they've gotten the best of me. I haven't even gotten on Twitter or X or whatever it is now yet. So right now it's just I'm trying to put a little more effort into my Instagram and TikTok, but mainly I've got so much content on YouTube. On the live tab,
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
interviews from everybody, including like plant-based doctors like Dr. Furman. I've got as many raw vegans as you can think
Wow.
of: Doug Graham and Lauren, who you interviewed recently, Don Bennett, all these long-term vegans, really cool people that I've met, just people that I've came on their YouTube and then they came on mine, and just definitely check it out. I think the
Yes.
inspiring stories, like just I was talking about Lawrence Richardson. He just healed his diabetes and high blood pressure. Miss Mary Jones was 74 years old and reversed her chronic arthritis with a fruit diet. Like, don't you just love hearing these stories, like for people to put out there? And then I do like just lives like every, usually Sunday or Monday are my days off work, so we do an open forum. And like I used to do a meatless Monday. I don't call it that as much anymore. It's kind of turned into the other show of Amazing Transformation. Either way, it's still awesome, and I love doing it, and I love anybody who wants help. Just reach out, you
Yeah.
know, in any time, anyway. And I have a free meal plan I'll share too. The link, it's on my group that you can have if you want to like start working your way into a raw food diet. It's just basically what I eat, if that's interesting to anyone.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that, guys. Go check it all out. We're gonna put the links down below. I think I already put some links in the description, but we'll just check out what else I missed. And Jen, again, really, thank you so much. It was such a joy to have you on, feel your passion, your joy, and just having this really nice, natural conversation. You really are a beacon of light to this world. And I really, yeah, hope to come up on your channel and just stay in contact and see
Definitely.
what God has planned.
That sounds amazing. And thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed this conversation, and like I can't wait to have you on the show again, and can't wait to chat again with you and talk more about your journey too. And thank you. This is a beautiful channel. Thank you for having it. And it's definitely inspiring to me. So everyone, please
Oh,
subscribe to our channels so we can get this information out there, right? And thank you, and thank you for all the time you've given me. I've probably taken up half of your Monday here, so thank
it was so worth it. There were so many good things. So, guys, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And see you in the next one.
you. Okay,
Have a
see you
beautiful
soon.
day.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm clicking somewhere. I don't know what to do. It's your thing.
I
Thank you.
think